Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back.
Hello everyone.
Oh,
Welcome back.
that's great. I'll turn that off. Let me know where you're tuning in from so I can see who's here, because if you don't leave me a comment, then I can't see who's here. Oh, thanks, Steve. Yes, I've got some light.
Yes, I've got some light. Yes, I've got some light.
I've got repeating myself though. It's another stormy, well, it was another stormy day here in Perth, but the sun's out at the moment, so, and the wind has stopped, which is good, because it has been wild weather here still. I think it is going to get better later this week. I don't know where my chat is. We'll just get it on here. All right, so today I'm just going to go through some of my seeds that I'm going to plant for spring and summer. I like to plant my seeds in sort of stages, and so I'll start some off inside when it's still cold, like in winter. I'll start some off inside, and then that way I can get those ready to go, and then I can plant some more when it actually gets into spring, so we can have a little bit of some, what's that called, like, you know, succession planting. That's the one. And I like to plant lots of different varieties. So what I do is I'll plant one variety early on in the season, and then I'll plant another variety that is a little bit quicker to grow later on in the season, so I can get a few different varieties going. Let's see. Where's my... There we are, I've got the chat. Hi from Northern New Zealand. Hi, Barry. All right, so I keep my seeds in this mail tray thing here. I'll just take these down. Don't judge me, they're not very organized. I did start off a little bit more organized, but as time's gone on, it's just got more and more wild. And that's just part of who I am. I'm not the most tidy and organized of humans. But that's okay, because we all have our strengths, and that is just not one of mine. So this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sections. So I started off and I thought I'd be organized, and do it in sort of seasons. But that got lost, but it's kind of. So the top one is mainly my winter vegetables up here. So I've got like all my broccoli, my chard, cabbage, all that sort of stuff, which is done now because we are right in the middle of winter. So if I started planting any of my winter seeds now, by the time they are ready to go, it would be too hot for them. So we are leaving them there. And the second one down, I've got, what is in here? So yeah, this is part of my spring and summer. And here I've got lots of my cucumbers and tomatoes. So in this big bowl of fennel seeds that I harvested, I'll put those over there. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to pull out all the ones that I want to grow this season and pop them in this box. So I've got 2 boxes in here. So I'm going to pop all the seeds that I want to plant this spring and summer in here. And then when I actually do plant them, I'll pop them in this other one so that I know that they've been planted, and these ones are still yet to be planted. But then what that means is that during the season, if I lose the labels on any of my plants, which happens all the time because labeling plants is hard, and I'm also not that strict with it, so I'll often lose my labels on plants. And when they start growing and I'm like, oh, what is that? What did I plant? I can at least check back and see what I planted, and then I can figure it out from there. That's worked so kind of well. But then Obviously, I let a lot of my plants go to seed in my garden, so I do get volunteers. So it's not a sure thing, but it kind of works. Oh, hey, Tama. What are you doing? I shut all curtains so that he can't see out. And hopefully he doesn't bark this time, because he likes to bark only in my lives. My seeds are just in a jumble. Yeah, some people are very organized with their seeds. I'm not one of them. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'll just go through and I'll pick out some of the things that I'm going to plant this spring and summer. And I'll also let you know where I've got most of my seeds from, because I get asked that question all the time, is where do I get my seeds from? And the answer is sort of everywhere. As you can see, they're all different packets. Some of them I was gifted a whole bunch of seeds when I left one of my jobs. One of the ladies gave me all her leftover seeds that she didn't want anymore because she was moving house. So I do have a lot of those still. So I've got, got a hole. Sunflowers, definitely going to plant sunflowers this summer. I love planting sunflowers, and I have so many varieties. So we've got these ones. These are just the giant ones. Pop them in there. They're probably going to be a little bit later in the season. I probably won't plant them just yet, but we'll get them all out anyway. Bush beans. I don't know. I'm not a massive bean fan. I don't know. Do you guys like beans? Sometimes I'll plant one or two, but not my favorite thing to grow. Rock melon, definitely. I want to grow some rock melon. Radish, I just always sort of plant radish. I basically plant radish all year round, and I'll just plant it in between other things to fill in the gaps. And that way I've always got stuff to chuck in a salad. What else have we got in here? Eggplants. So I do already have one eggplant that I've overwintered. So it's still in my garden and it's pretty big. So I probably will only need to plant one, maybe one more eggplant, because I've got the long purple ones, this like mini, and they just produce so much on one plant, and I don't need more than one plant. So I don't know. I might plant the bigger one and leave the smaller eggplants, because I do have like the white eggplant as well already growing from last summer. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So I've got 2 eggplants already growing. Sorry, I'm going to try and keep up with the questions. Can you still use out-of-date seeds? Yes, definitely. So if they're out of date, they just might not all germinate. You might have some that don't germinate or some that take longer to germinate. But the thing with seeds is that I would always just try and plant them, because you've got more chance of them growing if you chuck them in the soil than if you chuck them in the bin. So definitely always keep your seeds, even if they're out of date, and just give them a try. But yeah, they'll just decrease in quality, and some of them just won't germinate over time, especially if you haven't kept them in the right temperatures. And like in this jumbled mess here, some of these might struggle because they've fallen out of the packets. So with seeds, you want to keep them dark, cool, and dry. So that is why they are probably best to be put in a brown paper bag, because it keeps them nice and dark and dry, rather than in these clear plastic ones. No worries. If you're late, there's still plenty to go through. So what we've got in here, we've just got sunflowers, eggplant, some rock melon. Now I've got candy cane pepper. Definitely candy cane pepper is on my list of must grows. They are like little capsicums with stripes, and they produce so much on one plant, and they're nice and small. So definitely got to grow those. I did try and overwinter some, but I think the plant might have died because I left that in the garden. So in here I've got banana capsicum that I've saved from my own plant. I do still have 2 of these plants in the garden. They're again like a small capsicum, like a yellow, like lime greeny yellow colored, and they're small and they're quite sweet. And they kind of do have a banana flavor. They're really nice in salads. So I already have 2 of those in the garden that I've overwintered, so I'm not going to plant them again because that's plenty for me. The white eggplant I do have in the garden already. So I love like overwintering things, which basically means like some of these plants can grow all year round if they've got the right conditions, which in Perth, our winters are usually quite mild. So I can sort of cut them right back so that they're not putting all the energy into all their branches. You cut them right back and then put them somewhere warm. And because I've got my pallet planters, I can kind of control my temperatures a little bit by keeping them in the sun and taking them out of the rain and things like that. So I have got a few overwintered, which means that they can just start producing as soon as they feel like it. As soon as the temperatures warm up, they'll just start putting out new leaves and then flowers, and they'll be ready to go, which makes it so much easier than starting from seed. So if I can, I will try and overwinter my plants. Okay, we've got cucumber, got the Market More cucumber, and these ones here are from the seed collection, which is over East, and you can buy those online. So I've got a few from there. I've got the Market More cucumber. I'm going to do quite a few cucumbers. Thai pink egg tomato. Has anyone grown that? The Thai pink egg tomato. I have these popping up wild in my garden now, so I don't know if I need to plant them. I'll put them in there anyway. Beef steak tomato. I'm going to plant all the tomatoes. The Mortgage Lifter tomato. That is another eggplant. The Lebanese cucumber, which is the little cucumbers. I do love those. I'm definitely going to grow those. All right, what else have we got? This is me. I'm definitely going to plant all these things, and then I'll like, actually, I don't have that much room, but we'll make it work. Mini bottle gourds. Has anyone grown those? They're like a gourd, and then you can dry them, and then you can make bowls and bottles and things out of them. So I really want to do that, make my own bowls using these gourds. So I'm going to find space for them. What else have we got? Random herbs like basil. No, I probably don't need to plant basil because I have had so much basil in my garden that it just pops up everywhere. Like it's still popping up now. Don't need to replant that. These are sunflower seeds that are just fallen out of the packet. I can identify those, so that's good. White Wonder cucumber. I'm going to grow that too. Yes, the seed collection. I do have, that's what these ones are. I've got a few from there. I think I purchased them like right at the start of like, you just pace them. What do you want to do, mate? It's around the time of day for a W. So he's probably wondering when that's happening. But I'm sorry, not right now. These are just herbs in here. Some dills, basil, we don't need that. Okay. The next layer down, my organized seed tray is all flowers. So this one is all flowers, and there's some herbs. So I want to plant heaps of edible flowers, and I just plant them basically in between all my other stuff. I'll plant edible flowers because that attracts all the bees and it'll really help with my pollination. And we want to plant as many flowers for the bees as possible. We've got some more sunflowers. I think those are the same ones that I've already got in there. Some marigolds. Those are really good for your natural pest management. Planting some marigolds because they're really smelly and they can ward off a lot of your bugs. So we'll plant some of them. What else have we got in here? More sunflowers. Royal velvet. So I think those are like the deep red ones. Toma looks like he wants a treat. He wants a W, I think. He's really good at knowing times. Like he loves his routine and he knows what time things are. He knows what time is dinner and what time is W. I'm not going to say the word. What else have we got in here? So we've got some things in here that aren't edible. So we've got the heliconia, which is like, it's sort of like a bird of paradise, I would say. It's a really tropical plant. It's one of my favorite non-edibles, and I've got one actually growing from seed. So I'm going to try and grow a few more of those. And protea, if you want to know what protea seeds look like, they're like weird, hairy little bugs. I don't know if you can see, it's not focusing. But those are protea seeds anyway. What else have we got in here? Lots of sunflowers. And like heaps of these are sunflowers I've saved from my ones. Got cornflowers, which I'm definitely growing cornflowers again. If you followed me this last summer, spring and summer, you would have seen I grew a lot of cornflowers, and I saved them and I've been using them in all my cooking and making so much things with them. So they're really, really good to dry. And the bees also really love these. So edible flowers for the win. Oh. He can't hear you. Sorry, Steve. Nasturtiums, we don't need to plant nasturtiums because if you have grown nasturtiums once, you never need to plant them again. Those things just live forever, and they're out at the moment, so they like the cooler temperatures here. It's too hot in summer for them. And this is more sunflowers that I've saved from seed. I'll see them back there. I think that's it for the flowers. You'll probably find more. I found these hollyhocks in here, but they're more like a winter. Well, I've already got some growing. They just grow all year round, really, in my garden. It's rock melon. I think I put rock melon in here already. I did. Oh, no, this is honeydew melon, which is the green one. And then we've got the rock melon, which is the orange one. Rainbow sunflower. No idea what that is, but we want that. Lemon sunflower, just like a pale yellow sunflower. That's probably all for there. Now this is a good one. We like the straw. This is lots of watermelons. So we've got the moon and stars. I can't believe how much stuff I've pulled out already. I just want to grow all the things. It's all right. We can make room for these. We've got the watermelon. So we've got the moon and stars, which I grew last summer, and I loved this one. It grows really big, and then it's got like little speckles all over it with the stars, and then one big one, which is the moon. Sugar baby. So these seeds here, a lot of these ones here are from Thrive Sustainability, which is a local company, and I've got heaps of seeds from them. Because I do try and, if I can, I'll try and buy my seeds locally. And the reason that I do that is because you want to try and grow seeds that have been saved from your local area, because they're more likely to grow, they'll grow better because they're used to growing in your environment. So some of these ones that have come from over over east, like Queensland and stuff, is such a different growing conditions to Perth. Perth is so hot and so dry in summer. So if you can get seeds that are used to growing, just look myself in the eye. If you can get seeds that are used to growing in your environment and are being saved there, then they're going to grow so much better. So if you can, try and get them local. So I've got these ones, which I've got Sugar Baby Watermelon, which is like a smaller dark green watermelon. I don't know if I need to grow that. I think I'm not going to grow that because I've got already 2 rock melon and a watermelon in there. Tomatoes. We need all the tomatoes. I love growing tomatoes. I look forward to growing tomatoes every year, so we're going to grow all the tomatoes. Big Rainbow, that is probably up there with my favorite tomato, I think. If not my favorite tomato. I love the Big Rainbow tomato. The Cherokee Purple tomato, another good one. So these ones here, I was sent from, these are heirloom, vintage heirloom tomato seeds, the Tommy Toe, from the Little Veggie Patch. So I was actually gifted these ones, and I've got a few different ones from them. So I'm going to give them a crack. Climbing beans. So these are, they look like purple beans. Do I want to grow beans? I don't know. I think I'm not. I don't know. It's a hard decision. I'll put them in there anyway, but if I don't have room, then they're probably going to be the first things to go. Watermelon radish. Love growing watermelon radish. I basically grow this all year round. It's got like bright pink inside. All right, I've not been keeping up with these comments. Keen to grow watermelon? Yes. So if I, yeah, these are sunflowers that I've saved. 2018 giant sunflowers. We're growing all the sunflowers. So with the watermelon, I will try and plant those quite early in the season because they take quite a long time to grow. And the more they grow, the more chance of them getting watermelon. You don't want your watermelon to be fruiting really late in the season, like late summer, because it'll start getting too cold for them. And they won't actually get to be full size. So the one thing that I do like to plant quite early in the season is watermelon. I've got another one here, is candy red. What else have we got? Oh, so many tomatoes. If you want to go outside, don't stir up the neighbour's dogs. So the next thing on the list we've got is pumpkins, and these are seeds that I saved from my own pumpkins, and I've put it on there. September 2019, jet pumpkin, very sweet. So we'll grow those again. I created, if you have seen if you followed me for a little while, then I have a garden at the front that I specifically designed. It's not really designed. I just sort of like for a pumpkin patch, because pumpkins take up a lot of space and I don't have that space. So I created a pumpkin patch so I can just let them go wild. They can go down the driveway if they want. I mean, Heirloom probably wouldn't be happy about that, but whatever. They can take over. So I'm going to do that again. We're going to have another big pumpkin season because I had a year off this summer because I grew a year's supply of pumpkin the one before, and I can't remember how many pumpkins I grew. It was a lot of pumpkins, and I just didn't eat that much pumpkins, so I don't need to grow that many pumpkins this time. But I can always give them away, and I'm sure lots of people would want a pumpkin. So we'll do that. We'll have another big pumpkin patch. So we've got the Jack pumpkin. These ones are the Lakota pumpkin. I grew them the same year as well. And they are like orange, like an orange pumpkin. If you've seen any in any of my photos, they're like kind of small. I don't know, they're definitely not one of my top picks. They were quite dry, like a bit dry. Probably not going to plant them again for now. We'll see what other pumpkins we've got in there. Custard apple. So this is a fruit tree. Have you seen them at the shops? They're called a cherimoya or a custard apple. And I saved these seeds from one that I got at the farmer's market. And I did manage to get some of them to germinate, but then I think I just didn't. We went away somewhere and I came back and it was just in a small pot and it had dried out and it was gone. So I'm going to try and do some more of those. Chili. I'm not going to grow any more chili this year, I don't think, because this summer season, because I already have three, I think, big ones that have overwintered, and they're huge and they provide me with so much chili that I don't need to plant any more chili this season, which is good because it means basically I'm going to get chili cranking straight away as soon as it's warmed up a bit. Corn. Well, I got really excited buying corn seeds last season, and I bought all the corn seeds, which can be kind of hard to find here, in Perth, because they don't import corn from over east, I'm pretty sure. So you've got to try and find some local corn. I've got blue corn, green corn, rainbow corn, painted mountain corn, and a blue mini corn. And I was so excited, and I got obviously I went and bought all the seeds, and then and so these ones are from Wendy's garden. She had a Facebook group, but now I think she's got her own website. But then I went to New Zealand over summer, and corn need plenty of water, and my poor corn kicked the bucket and died. So failed on the corn front last season. So I'm going to try again with corn this summer. Some more corn. More corn. Sweet corn. Oh man, honestly, I need bigger gardens. I need more space. I can't wait to get a huge garden, and I'm going to plant all the seeds. But we're going to work with what we've got. What else have we got in here? These are all chilies. Various people have given me seeds. Got robin's Thai chilies, scorpion chili. Don't need chilies. Okay, I think that's that for that. I'm not going to plant those. This is just a random drawer of random things. So I'm not quite sure what's in here. Strawberries. It's kind of fun to grow strawberries from seed, but they take a really, really long time. I would highly suggest not growing strawberries from seed. It's better to just get runners from someone that's already growing strawberries, or because once they're up and running, you can propagate strawberries really easily. But growing from seed, they took a long time. But these ones had the mix of different ones, so red and white, which was fun to grow. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, I'm going to try and keep up with the comments. What is that large leaf to your left? That is a monstera, a baby monstera that I cut off another one. So it's not got all the holes in the leaves here. Some little holes. Is that to my ear? So that's just a baby monstera. And I've got another one that is also off the same plant as well. I just cut up my plants and make lots more for free. So this is Zinnia. These are my Zinnias. 2019 Zinnia mix. Definitely going to grow Zinnias again. Zinnias are up there with one of my favorite flowers. They're edible flowers. They don't taste like anything though, so they're just pretty. But apparently, I haven't seen any yet, but apparently they attract butterflies, and I want to attract butterflies. The bees do love them, but I do want to attract some butterflies. So we're going to plant zinnias. These definitely are pumpkin, but I have no idea what. Oh, I have written on here, butternut pumpkin. Whoa, 2017. That's a while ago. I saved those. Yeah, we want butternut pumpkin. We'll see if I'm sure they'll still grow. Butternut pumpkins. I do get butternut pumpkins popping up in my compost. So volunteer pumpkins quite often, and volunteer tomatoes. Malabar spinach. Nah, I think that's more of a winter thing. So these are just random things. Like, I tried growing some of these, but they're quite hard to grow. White pomegranate and giant passion fruit. Let's try and grow this giant passion fruit. Some of these things, it is better just to buy the plant because they're really hard to germinate and they take a long time. But it's fun. You learn things. It's a challenge. So we've got to have a few challenges. And these are just like sticks for labeling my seeds. Oh yes, this one. Very interesting name that I'm probably not going to say. But you can Google it, what the what's it called? The botanical name for this is, but it is the blue butterfly pea. That is bright purpley blue, and it grows. I'm going to grow that. It grows like a vine, and you can save the flowers and use them for teas. And they also like dye things bright blue and purple. So I like to make colourful food. So I'm going to try and grow this butterfly pea. It says on here when to plant it. So it says in warmer tropical regions, plant winter, spring, and in cooler temperate regions, plant spring and summer. So we'll try to give that a crack. More cucumbers. I've got plenty of cucumbers in here. Oh, this is one thing we haven't got in here yet, though. That is definitely a spring, summer crop. We can't live without this. That is the zucchini. Anyone have a favorite zucchini? This one, these are just the two that I always grow. These are my favorite, is the yellow, the Gold Rush one, which is a hybrid. And then I've also got the Lebanese one. Those, which is like, I think this is like a light, very pale green color. And those are my favorite two to grow. So I will grow those again. The yellow one is very similar. It has just more seeds, so I feel like you've got to harvest it a little bit earlier. Like, obviously with zucchinis, they can grow really big and you want to harvest them early, but with the yellow ones, definitely you want to harvest those earlier than the green because the seeds get quite big in them. What else we got in here? Some strawberry guava seeds I saved from my strawberry guava tree, which I don't need to plant because I have huge crops on that. These are more jack pumpkins that I've saved. Broad beans, nah. Someone gave me these and I'm not a fan of broad beans and I definitely don't want to have to shell them. So they've just been sitting in here. I'll just give them to someone else. Pass the beans. Okay, so there must be more tomato seeds somewhere because we haven't got many tomatoes. I feel like there's no cherry tomatoes. Oh, there's one cherry tomato. No tomato seeds. This is why we do it, okay? This is why you should go through your seeds, because if you are missing any, then you can purchase them and you're not late. Like, you're on the ball. Because we're going to have to get some more tomato seeds, I feel. We've been through all of that. Oh, there's another tomato. Maybe I did miss this. No. Oh, these are still big ones. So we've got the yellow ox heart and the Roma tomato. So I'm just going to note down that I need to get some cherry tomatoes because I love cherry tomatoes. Definitely can't go without them. So I've got sort of a plan here. I don't know what it is. So I've got a little bit of a plan. These are my palette planters. Very technical drawing I've got here of those in my front garden. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to figure out where I'm going to plant things. And a lot of these is because I've already got existing things in these palette planters that are going to stay in there. So we've got one palette planter's already got 2 chili plants and a parsley. One's got a banana capsicum and a hollyhock. And then I'm going to do, these are all the same size. I don't know why they got smaller, but anyway, I'm going to do a whole palette planter for tomatoes, and then one whole one for cucumber, and then another one for tomatoes. And then in between all the stuff, I just chuck things in, like in between, like radishes and like lots of edible flowers or herbs. But the main things will be tomatoes, and then this one, I don't know, so we can figure out what is going to go there. But these two, where it says climber, I've got trellises already on my palette planters, so I can put climbing things on there. So one of them will be the butterfly pea, and then one of them will be, what else have I got that's climbing? I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe beans. Nah. No, not wasting that on beans. If I'm going to plant beans, they're going to go somewhere like in the garden and climb up the fence. But I did write a list of, so then what I would do is like go through all your seeds that you have, pull out the ones that you want to grow in summer, spring and summer, and then on the seeds it'll also say when's the best time to plant them. But what I'll do is I'll start some inside, and I have this here, running out of space, loves to create a mess. This is my little indoor seed starting thing. That's got a grow light. So I can plug that in. Or if you do just have a really sunny, warm spot, like your kitchen bench or a room that gets plenty of sun, you can start your seeds there. And then that way they'll be ready to go, because seeds take ages to grow, like from a seed to a seedling. So you need to, I usually like to do that in my last month of winter, which we're now in. So that way when spring hits, I've already got my little seedlings popped up, and I've got my first set that I can plant in the garden. I'll have to harden them off a little bit, which means starting to take them outside. So I'm used to being outside and not just go from this beautiful warm environment straight outside. So you do have to be a little bit careful with that. And what I do is I'll just take them out during the day and then bring them in at night so that they're not out there freezing. So this is my list that I wrote, which was tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, pumpkin, bottle gourd, candy cane pepper, sunflower, zinnia, butterfly pea, radish, lettuce, cornflowers, basil. So that was like basically off the top of my head what I wanted to grow. And what I need to buy is I need to buy some, what did I say? Cherry tomatoes. am I missing something? Let me know. What are you growing this summer? I don't want to miss things. Beetroot. I'm sure I had I feel like I'm missing seeds somewhere. I'm going to put beetroot on my list. Because I do grow beetroot most of the year. So I'll probably use all my seeds. Maybe. But grandpa's tomatoes. I wish I could grow my grandpa's tomatoes, you guys. My grandpa's been growing. Okay, so we'll just do a little bit of a side chat about saving seeds and heirloom seeds and saving seeds. So my grandpa's was growing tomatoes for years and years and years and saved seeds, and so was his friends, and they like used to swap seeds and save them, and he used to make his own tomato sauce. So he was like growing tomatoes basically for tomato sauce, and he perfected those ones and saved the seeds for years and years. And since he has passed away, my parents now have the seeds and my brother, and so our family is carrying on growing his seeds, and everyone grows tomatoes and then and freezes them, and then at the end of the season they come together and all made tomato sauce together with its recipe. And I was so sad I missed out, because I'm like the only Lone Ranger. Well, I'm not the only one in my family away, but I'm over here in Perth and my whole family are in New Zealand. So I missed out on that, but that's okay. One day I might be able to join in on the tomato sauce tradition. But it is really good to save your own seeds, because you can sort of pick and choose what sort of qualities you want in those plants. So he really liked making sauce, so he figured out which were the best ones for sauce, and he kept collecting those seeds. So with heirloom, if you hear heirloom and hybrid, and people say, you need to only grow heirloom seeds and only save heirloom seeds, and that is because heirloom is like they've been saved the same plant for generations, and it's going to grow that thing. Like the mortgage lifted tomato has been grown and saved seeds, and it's always like the mortgage lifted tomato. But with the hybrid ones, they've taken like 2 different types of tomato to make the third one. And when you plant that third one, which is a hybrid, the seeds from that will be different. So some of them might be like the mum, some of them might be like the dad, some of them might be like the great uncle. Like you just don't know what you're going to get. So if you are saving seeds to sell them, or you want that exact one, then you want to grow heirloom seeds that aren't hybrid ones. And it's also really important to grow heirloom seeds, because like they get passed down through generation, and otherwise they will just disappear. Because heaps of the commercial places that you buy your seeds, they only sell like 3 types of tomato, and that's it, and they control so much of the seed distribution. So it is really important to keep those varieties alive and grow them and save them, so that other generations can have these cool tomatoes and not having to be stuck with whatever the big companies only want to sell you. So that is another reason to really try and save your seeds from your heirlooms, and pass them on to generations. But I still do save seeds from hybrids and grow hybrids. I mean, it's just going to be lucky dip, and who knows what you're going to get, which can be fun sometimes. But if you are short on space, like I'm really short on space, so I kind of do need to know what I'm planting, because if I grow something in that space and it's not what I wanted, I've got to wait a year to try again. I just can't go and like plant it somewhere else. Well, I could. I've got potential to plant in other areas. It's just that we're trying to keep things organized, because if we do sell this place, if there's absolutely no lawn and I've just turned it into a wild pumpkin patch, it might be a lot of work to try and get it back to sell. Or that's why I'm keeping things in containers in spaces. Beefsteak tomatoes. Yes, Steve. I've got beefsteak tomatoes in the box and the mortgage lifter and like a yellow one and a purple one. Just don't have the, although I like cherry tomatoes always pop up in my garden because of my compost. Broad beans, yuck. No. Have I missed anything else? Definitely let me know if I've missed any seeds. But I will take a look online. So I'm going to plant my zucchini out in the pumpkin patch because zucchini take up a lot of space as well. So I can't really grow them in the pallet planters because I could grow one and the pallet planter would be full. So I'm going to plant them in the pumpkin patch with some sunflowers. My front fruit trees, I'm going to plant some more edible flowers, and then I'm basically going to plant sunflowers in every single space available because I love sunflowers. The bees love sunflowers. Honestly, like just going out into the garden and seeing a sunflower brightens your day. It makes me so happy. So that's why I'm always growing sunflowers. And I press the flowers as well and save them. And I use them quite a lot in my baking or decorating. What else did I have on? I did have a list of things because it's so hard doing these lives because I finished the live and I'm like, oh, damn, I didn't say that. I can't like add it in. Well, I can. If I forget anything, I'll add it in the comments or the description. But what have I got on here? Oh yeah, and I asked on Instagram if anyone had any questions. So I was going to answer a few of those. And some of those were, yeah, like where do I get my seeds from? Which I've kind of gone over during this, but mainly I get my seeds from, I'll try and get them local, which is the Thrive Sustainability, Perth Hills Veggie Company, Wendy's Garden. And then also like if I go to the Kalamunda markets, I'll pick up some seeds, some seedlings. I've made a few friends as well that like garden in my area as well, so swap and trade with those. And then like last resort is to go over east and get seeds from online. The other question I had was, do I direct sow or plant in seed trays? And the answer for that is I do both. So I will, in my last month of winter, which we're in now, I'll start off probably like some of my bigger tomato varieties. I'll start off, if I was growing like chilies, I'd start them now. The capsicums I'll probably start now, and I'll start those all inside in seed trays in a sunny windowsill or with my grow light. And then come spring, I'll probably like the first month of spring, I'll plant a few more varieties in seed trays. And then after that, after the first month of spring, I'll start planting straight in the garden, which will be like any of my bigger things, maybe even the first month of spring. Kind of depends each year because our seasons are just so different each year. You've got to kind of just, I like to just wing it a little bit, but I'll plant zucchini. Usually I'll plant a couple zucchini in seed trays and then a couple straight in the garden. Pumpkins, same thing. I like to direct sow when I can. If possible, I'll try and direct sow in the garden. And I do sometimes just do both, which is like hedging both beds. I find the ones, if you plant them straight in the garden, they'll be a lot slower, like they'll take longer to get going, but they'll always be stronger and like more resilient. Then the ones that I grow in the seed trays will be quicker, they'll be up and ready to go. And then when they just struggle a little bit with the transition to go into the garden, from what I found anyway. So I'll do both. And then if I have extra, I'll just give them away. But if you did plant extra, you could sell them. And yeah, so a lot of the like more delicate varieties, you want to start off in seed trays because the bugs will get them. And the bigger seeds actually, like these bigger, like your sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds, the mice and the rats will like dig these up. So I had some planted in seed trays outside in my we've got like a bar area with like cafe blinds, which is quite warm and sheltered. So I put my seeds in there, and the mice or rats found them and like they just dug them up and left like the husks behind. I was like, damn. So I can't do that again. So I'll either keep them inside until they've come out of their seeds and they're ready to go, or but basically the answer is I do both. I do both to like sort of hedge my bets. So I know that I have some in the garden and I have some in seed trays. And then, because the other thing is with me, like we go away quite often, and like I'll have things in seed trays, and because the seed trays are so small and like they'll dry out really quickly. Perth, if it's a hot day, you could fry an egg, like it's so hot. So if I go away for a weekend and they get too hot, they will just be crispy. So I've done that a few times as well. That's why I like to plant things in both, because just I have more chance of success that way. But yeah, I do prefer to plant. I do prefer direct sowing because it's less hassle. Like you just chuck it in. And that's also why I like to let things go to seed, because like I always leave tomatoes in the garden. If at the end of the season there's some that have been eaten by bugs, I'll just throw them in the garden. And that's how I've had pink Thai eggs pop up every year. And sunflowers, the cockatoos come and find your sunflowers eventually, and they'll just drop seeds everywhere. So that way, I was reading this article actually, and seeds have like a protective layer on them so that they can go through animals' intestines and like they can still survive and come out the other end and grow. So when they're in the soil, the bacteria will break down that like protective layer, and when by the time it's done that and the temperature's warmer, they'll be ready to go and they'll just pop up and start growing. That's why you'll find your volunteer tomatoes and stuff grow so quickly and wild, because they've already had that protective layer break down in the soil and they're just ready to go, which is why some people say to like soak your seeds first or ferment your seeds to get that protective layer off. I don't tend to do that. I just sort of chuck them in. But yeah, that's why your volunteer tomatoes grow so well. So I do just leave seeds in my garden. And I've got volunteer tomatoes that have been popping up all winter. And like if I tried to grow a tomato in winter out in my garden, there's no way that it would grow. But volunteer ones just seem to be so much more wild and strong. So I let them go and do their thing. And hopefully, I think they've got like 2 tomatoes already like growing in my garden that have just popped up. So hopefully that means like come spring, the sun's bright, they'll be ready to go. Another long live the lawn. If I had my way, there would be no lawn at all. Or maybe I just have bark, like mulch and flowers everywhere and trees everywhere. I like things to be wild. I'm definitely more is more kind of gardener. Shove them all in there. The other question I got was about what do I like the seed raising mix. What sort of seed raising mix do I use? And I've tried quite a few different things with that. I sort of like to make my own mix with some, like the seed raising mix you buy often has like big chunks of bark in it. And so you need to like sieve that out and get those big chunks out, because otherwise the big chunk of bark covers the seed and it is harder for it to get light and it won't be able to pop up so easily. So I do a little bit of a mix of like some seed raising mix, and I'll just try and like sieve off some of that bigger bark and then mix in a little bit of compost. And I did try the koi coconut peat I think it was last spring. I tried that. That was okay. It definitely like holds the moisture well. But I don't think I'd do that again. But yeah, and maybe I'd mix in a little bit of some of my soil that I haven't put lots of compost in is really sandy. Like our Perth soil is so sandy, so I'll mix a bit of that in as well because that'll help with the drainage. So yeah, compost, my own soil, seed raising mix, and just make sure that it's really like sieved off and there's no big chunks in there. And that's pretty much what I use for my seed raising mix. And you just want to keep them well watered when they're germinating and nice and warm to a sunny windowsill, or a greenhouse if you had a greenhouse. You can get those temporary greenhouses. I haven't actually ever done that. I see it's so interesting. Like you'll see it on Instagram, and if you've got this, let me know. People get those like temporary greenhouses and guarantee like they fall over. Someone, like, you see it posted on Instagram. I find it really, I feel really bad for them because I know how much effort and like time goes into planting seeds. But that's the main reason I haven't got it, is because I've seen that happen too many times where like they get the temporary greenhouses and then like they'll blow over in the wind and all their seeds and seed trays are just like scattered on the ground and gone. And it's just, it looks like more hassle than it's worth. So I haven't done the whole temporary greenhouse thing. But yeah, I've got my windowsills, and much to Haylen's disgust, I use the bar with the cafe blinds because it is really warm and sheltered in there. He just hates that I put dirt everywhere. Same with plants being inside. So I started putting them in the laundry and then like using the grow light because there was less dirt everywhere. I need a big greenhouse. I'm so jealous. Have you seen my mum's greenhouse? If you haven't seen my mum's greenhouse, I've got a video of that on my channel. She built a greenhouse out of recycled windows, and it's what dreams are made of. Fermented barley. Add that to your compost. That's a good one. I've never tried that. I'm sure there are breweries. There's definitely breweries nearby. Yeah, I make my own. I try and make as much of my own soil as I can with my compost. And I've noticed like such a difference with just my back garden. I do chop and drop, where I just like chop everything down that I, like when I'm chopping my fruit trees and stuff, my feijoa, my mulberry. I did a big chop on my strawberry guava, and I just laid it all down as mulch, and it's just slowly breaking down, and you can just see like I'm getting so much more compost and layers of good soil there from doing that for like the last, how many years? 6 years. I've just been layering more and more stuff on top. So the soil is getting really good in that back garden. But you go anywhere else in like if you dug under the grass, it's just like literally pure sand. I don't even know how that grass is horrible though. It's a Kikuyu ishi grass, so it grows anywhere. Yes, Mum's greenhouse. I'm so jealous. I want one. I'm going to get one. I'm going to have a greenhouse. I want to have a greenhouse, and then I want to have like a studio off the side of the greenhouse where I can do my videos and editing work all in the one place, surrounded by plants, and I just like don't need to leave. I can just live in the greenhouse. Oh, I need a fireplace in there too. That would be good, wouldn't it? Keep the seeds warm in winter by having a fireplace in there in my studio. Add that to the list. Greenhouse, fireplace, studio, couch. You got to have dreams. You got to be working towards something. So that's what I'm going to do, is have that. All right. So that's pretty much it. We've gone through my seeds, answered some questions. If you've got any other questions, let me know. Are coffee grounds good? Yes, definitely. Chuck your coffee grounds in. They can be a bit strong, although if they've been passed through water, they're not as because they're a little bit acidic, but if they have been passed through water, they tend to be more pH neutral, and so they're fine for the garden. Chuck them into your compost, spread them around your plants as a pest control as well. I'm going to do a video on that. Probably one of my next few videos, I'll do one on natural pest management and how I do like my pest control. I've just been waiting for a day that's not pouring with rain, because it's been pouring with rain every day, and well, not every day, but pretty much every day in July. It's been wild, or windy and raining, but that's high up on my list as a natural pest management video. So that will be coming soon. And if you've got any other things you want me to do videos on, definitely let me know, because I get all these ideas and then I'm just like, I can't decide. Decision making's high up there with my with how good I am at organizing and decision making, on par. Sounds like the dream. Yes. Surrounded in sunflowers and zinnia and a food forest and a duck pond. I really want a duck pond. I don't know why. I've always had a thing for duck, like ponds and duck. I really want a duck pond. I don't know how. I guess you could make that work with like within your food forest, make it part of the system. So you've got your water source and your ducks and stuff like that for pest management. Yes, Steve. 8 acres worth of seeds in that box. I know, this is my problem every year, is I just have not enough space and too many seeds. But I do make it work every year. I succession planting, so I'll plant some. It gets so hot here in Perth that, like, so hot that you often will get, like, your plants will grow, you'll start getting tomatoes and stuff, and then like you'll just get 40-degree week and it'll just be like, and heaps of stuff will die. So then you pull them out and you've got more ones already on the go. So that's why I kind of like succession plant the whole of spring and the start of summer. I'll be planting seeds all the time so that I've always got things coming through as things are dying off, because it is survival of the fittest in Perth. It is, like, I've been doing gardening in Perth now for, this will be my 9 years. And if it's not any easier, no, it is easier because I've definitely learnt, but it's still every year like, wow, it's so hot in Perth. I'm gonna sort my seeds and plant heaps tomorrow. Yes, let me know what you're gonna plant, because I feel like I'm missing stuff, even though I've got, like, as Steve says, 8 acres worth of seeds in here. I feel like I'm missing things. But that's okay, because I do have the bulk of it and I can definitely get started. So I will also do a video on planting these seeds, my first round of planting, and what I do with them and what ones I actually plant. And like I said, I'm going to take the ones that I have planted. So this is basically the dream. I guess this is like the dream list of like all the seeds I want to try and plant. And then they're not going to fit in this box anymore because I've got so many in here, but I'll find another box that's bigger and I'll put all the ones I have actually planted in a separate box. So that way, if I do lose my labels or I can't remember what type of tomatoes I planted, like what was the yellow tomato I planted, I can go and look and be like, yeah, okay, I planted that, whatever that yellow tomato was called. And that sort of helps with that. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, guys. A little bit different from my usual live cooking. Thought I'd mix it up a bit. So next Sunday, we'll try and do another live. I'm thinking of doing, I really still want to do something with lemons because I've got so many lemons at the moment. I might make, I've been wanting to make another lemon layer cake. So we might do that on live, make a lemon layer cake with lemon curd. And I'll show you how to decorate a cake because it's so easy. Honestly, you don't need to do like fancy frosting. Just let nature do its thing and do all the work for you. And then everyone's like, wow, that's amazing. But really, I didn't do anything. I just let the garden do it. So we might do that on Sunday. Let me know if you're interested in doing that. I've got lots of work to do, planting my seeds. The weather is going to be fine. It's like, I did check the weather. I can't remember now, but I'll have to check again. The weather looks like it's going to fine up the second half of this week. So I'm going to be filming. So I'll try and get some more videos up. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful week ahead and get your seeds in order. Check your seeds, check what is missing, write them down, and you can get started. Clean your seed trays out. So just clean off all the last year's dirt and stuff so you don't have any bacteria. And let's do it. Spring and summer. It's exciting. Or if you're on the other side of the world, obviously you're going to be still going into a change of season. So you can still do everything we've done today, but for a different season. Yeah. I'll see you guys. A bigger box. I need a big, yeah. I'm getting there, like working on the next thing, the next big thing, which is big gardens. We need big gardens. Thank you for joining me. You guys are awesome. I hope you will join me next time. I'm trying to get more consistent so we can all join on the same time every week. So fingers crossed, we'll try this again Sunday. Hooray. All right, catch you guys.